The Houston Rockets really had a breakout 2024-2025 NBA season, emerging from rebuilding status to serious contenders in the Western Conference. We're talking about that here on this channel. Stay tuned. The Houston Rockets last season had a surprising rise as they finished as the number 2 seed in the whole Western Conference this past season. This is the first time they made the playoffs since 2019-2020. This Rockets team was a true sleeper team when it comes to expectations of how the team actually performed. I don't think anybody was really predicting the Houston Rockets this past season to be the number 2 seed. They really just overly exceeded expectation, which is great for them. They finished with a 52-30 record. This was their best record since 2018-2019, and that season they were 44-28, and that was the bubble year with Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Eric Gordon, Robert Covington, Clint Capella, Daniel House, Ryan Anderson. Like, that team was a whole different mold compared to what the team looks like now. They have way more youth. They're not relying on one star to just generate offense. They're a long ways away from that roster and team. They have a mix of young players and current day veterans who give them that stability and poise to win, like Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet. They really are able to hit those shots, even though Dillon Brooks is really inconsistent and he really already got shipped out of there. Another thing that this Rockets team had was size. They were the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the league last year with 14.5 rebounds a game. That's offensive rebounds, not just defensive. That's not both rebounds, just offensive. 14.5. That is really good with Sengun, Steven Adams, guys who crash and come grab the rebounds after a shot. They're playing good basketball, man. Speaking of defensive rebounds, they are actually top 10. They're number 6 in defensive rebounds per game. So overall, they just really crash the glass and limit those opportunities for the other team. That's what rebounds do. Then you push the pace. Now, you can't talk about the rise of the Rockets without mentioning Ime Udoka, because he really switched the whole script of the Rockets. They used to be a whole offensive heavy team, not playing too much defense. Now they play a lot of defense, and I'm talking about like everybody on the team is trying to play defense. We all know the Rockets made the playoffs this year as the number 2 seed and took on the number 7 Golden State Warriors. They lost in 7, but it was a hard fought series, and they did what they really could as a young team with not a lot of experience. Jalen Green never made the playoffs. Sengun never made the playoffs. So when you're looking at a team like that, you're relying on a lot from a lot of young guys. Some of them didn't step up. Dillon Brooks was inconsistent. VanVleet had an amazing series. Sengun, he did have a good series, although like he was missing some gimmies at the rim, some really like easy floaters. He was hitting all series. He started missing in clutch moments. They didn't really have a go-to guy besides Fred VanVleet. Jalen Green really only suited up for 1 game. He averaged 13 points a game in 7 games in the playoffs. He's supposed to be the guy you rely on. You took him number 2. You're supposed to rely on him, and he's giving you 13 points a game, not showing up clutch. He had a 138-point game, and yeah, that was the game they won. Dillon Brooks was really inconsistent. If he was just an average shooter at like 38%, nobody would be that mad. Bro, you're just inconsistent as Jalen Green. That's why y'all both were in the Kevin Durant trade. Inconsistent. Now they have a guy like Kevin Durant who comes in and provides so much offensive stability and consistency. Now you just need somebody else like a Sengun to just step it up a little bit more. Amen Thompson looks special. His impact on the defensive end, being able to guard Steph Curry, fight around the screens, run around the screens, and actually be able to guard and impact how Steph is shooting. Hey man, you got to give it up to him. And the way he's able to attack the rim relentlessly, whether it's with his athleticism or his shiftiness, being able to like move around the defender, he's just really good at finishing at the rim. He is tough. Him and his twin brother are tough. The Rockets still have Jabari Smith Jr., who actually just signed a 5-year, $122 million contract. He has more to improve on, but when you bring in a guy like KD, he can definitely help Jabari Smith develop more. And I know he should be developed even more than what he is now, but hey, you got to take with what you get. Paid him only $122 million. That's not too bad for a 5-year deal. I'm not even gonna lie. Tari Eason is another good player who's a really good defender on the team who got playoff minutes. Cam Whitmore, another young player who's good, who he didn't get too many playoff minutes. Him and Reed Shepherd, but you know what? They're too young to really be put in that moment last year, because they really had a chance to beat the Warriors. I don't think you play Cam Whitmore and Reed Shepherd in those minutes in a pivotal game. Cam Whitmore is a little more interesting because he was actually mentioned in some of the trade talks here. Today's June 30th. He's already been shopped around a little bit, and I don't know how much of that is just smoke screens because it's the off season or what, but I don't believe he's gonna be traded. If he did get traded, traded, I really wouldn't be surprised. He would have a bigger opportunity on any other team besides this Rockets team. They're just stacked at the wing position right now. It's hard to really make minutes for Cam Whitmore, especially in meaningful games in the playoffs. The Rockets made the biggest possible move they could have made by trading for Kevin Durant. They gave up Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, and a first, which was the 10th pick. That 10th pick ended up being Kaman Maluach. That's who the Suns ended up picking there. For the Rockets, I really like this deal because they remove the inconsistent shooting. They get Dylan Brooks out. They get Jalen Green out, who couldn't perform in the playoffs. You bring in a veteran, pure scorer, elite scorer. I know he's old. I know he's 37 going into next year. Kevin Durant is still him. He can get to his spots. He turns any offense into a good offense. So now that you have Şengün, Fred VanVleet with consistent shooting, I like the move for the Rockets. It does put them in win now mode. So they're gonna really have to compete for the playoffs and try to win a championship coming up here in the next 2-3 years with Kevin Durant until he's gone. But the expectations are up there now. I'm already seeing a lot of talks on Twitter or X about how the Houston Rockets are championship contenders. What do you think? Do you think the Rockets adding KD makes them championship contenders already? What do you think? What else do you think they have to do? I don't know what else they can do. They've spent a lot of money. They brought back Steven Adams. They brought back Fred VanVleet on a new deal. They brought back Jabari Smith Jr. on a 5-year. They've spent a lot of money, so they're kind of stuck with what they got. But what do you think they can do? What is their ceiling? What is their floor? You let me know. To me personally, I do think it's too late for Kevin Durant to win a championship in his career, and I get it. You might crucify me for that. I just don't see this Rockets team ever really beating OKC in a 7-game series. I don't even know if I have that Rockets team beating the Nuggets in a 7-game series. But I guess we would have to wait and see. It's middle of the offseason, so these takes that I'm spitting out, they could change. This Rockets team can come out and win 65 games. Now I'm talking different about them, of course. But at the end of the day, Kevin Durant has now won a championship without Golden State Warriors. So for me and my answer, I'm saying no. I don't think they win a chip. It'll be a fun team to watch. It'll definitely make the second round, maybe possibly the conference finals, but I don't know. I don't know how much further they make than that. Like I said, I do have the Rockets as a top team in the West next season. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like down below. It takes me a while to edit these videos and actually get them up to you. This one will be a little late today, but we still gonna get it out there. I'll see y'all on the next one on Wednesday. I'm out. Peace.